Okay, I'll show you from the inside what I'm up to. Okay, there's the view with the front windows all done. Interior windows are all done. Side windows, this one's got some static dust on it, but pretty good. All finished, you can see in there, looking pretty cozy. I have just the back door window and the back window, these two here, this one and this one to do. Yeah, we're going to be looking at an enclosed boat, so clean up. Looks awesome. Windows, I'm very pleased with the windows. I had a whole bunch of brass screws and I've been going through them and utilizing them. Yeah, and look how flat this all ended up looking. Very cool. Like very, very streamlined, almost as though I'm trying to shoot for aerodynamics, and yet this is not the case, obviously, with brackets up in the corners and and it's a slow boat, so it's not going to be zipping along at 100 miles an hour. Wow, I can't get over how pretty this view is right here. Oh, because I'm looking at all the window details. My little tabs turned out amazing. I blackened out the side of the hinge, the stay, so that it's not an obvious glaring brass shiny thing in the window. It's just, as like I say, blackened out. Only when it's backlit, really, are you going to notice. I wanted to get a bit of shape in them. And originally I thought I'd do the arc like I have on Deanne's Rose, but I needed like a flat line in order to hinge them, because these ones open outward rather than inward. So, and that's where they should be pretty good for waterproofness as well, because any water that gets behind the glass should end up on this little ledger here and spill overboard, is my thinking. Testing is what's required to know everything for sure, right? So you can see here, they're perfect, and a little bit snug maybe on these corners. Maybe these edges could be rounded a little bit. That's a nice view in here too, eh? Yeah, and like I say, there's a good 3-inch, about a 3-inch overhang. So these windows are fairly sheltered except for driven rain. Voila! All 4 opening windows are functioning, and they open all the way up like so. So they can open quite wide. And I think I showed you, I made a little triangle thing that I can stick in the wedge. That's the hatch open there, that I can stick in the wedge if necessary. So a little tedious making all your own hardware, but I think necessary under the circumstances, because I'm trying to make cheap windows. So if you had to pay for these windows, and they'd latch inside, obviously, you'd be into a lot of money. And I had some LEXAN gifted to me. Thank you, Rick. So I utilized that. Here's the right side. I just have them propped open for the moment, but yeah, they close and lock down nicely. You can see here, you can just lock these down onto the weather strip. Oops, excuse my finger. And these are tabs to really lock it in. And what's nice is this also offers some stiffness then as well in the middle section here. Fairly affordable hardware, homemade. These are only like $5 a piece. They do come in a right and left. Hinges are brass hinges, so they're lighter duty hinges, but they're actually more than strong enough for the purpose. I'll just close this one as well. See, this actually works as a little handle too. And just twist them accordingly. And then this whole window is pretty tough on the weather strip. They look almost semi-professionally built. Now this is not real brass, I'll point out. That's why they're only $5, but they're inside the window. So, you know, they're apt to last a fair length of time, and for $5, easy enough to replace, right? And just hear the difference in the sound in here. And this one too. This one was the first one I did, so some of it is a little stiffer, much stiffer. I might adjust that yet. Or just learned, oh, that's not too bad. This side, oh, that's not too bad either. So I just have that one. And you just have to straighten these sometimes, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, so I don't know if you can hear the echo in here because now I have windows on the front and I have windows down the side. Wow, how nice is this? Okay, I'll just show you this. So I happened to find some nice brass washers. Now I tapped this so that I have to screw the threads in, so it's a little snug, but that's good because I don't want this spinning on the glass. This is drilled out to clear the thread. The idea is that's a bigger hole. This is the same size hole as I'm using on the LEXAN so that the threads catch. So I'm just putting my stuff together here. You can see there's a couple together already. And I screw them in so that they're just a little bit tight so that these spin on the Dremel here, on the dowel. They do turn, but they turn snugly. Because when I screw this in, the nut into the LEXAN, it will keep the tension here. There are places that sell hardware that you can go purchase them, but I'm spending my time here today just making my own hardware. Fun, fun, fun. So it turned out I needed 3 tabs. My first window I ruined because I thought 2 tabs would be enough. It wasn't, so it needs 3 tabs. Twist tabs, and I had to scrounge the hardware, which I happen to have the right size of slot bolts that work beautifully into the LEXAN. I had extra because I had this big length. It was a curtain rod. Being that it's inside the boat, moisture should not be an issue, so it will last. And because I have 3 more of these, if I have to replace it down the road, it's easily enough done. I pre-dipped all the bolts, which are old slotted bolts, which look like brass. They're not brass, but they look like brass. And I pre-dipped them with the black hammer paint so that when the ends come through on the LEXAN, they look black. Okay, all 3 front windows in and the door window as well. Well, we're making use. This is LEXAN that was gifted to me, so I have to make use with what I have. But I've been trying to pick out the better pieces. You know, free works when you're making prototypes, right? Yeah, a little frustration. This too, I had some trouble with it sticking. I ended up putting some staples in the corners, which is working. So I'm happy about that. And that seam will be hidden behind the hinge like I did on there. So any rain that does happen to splash under the overhang should be shed by the hinge to a small degree. And so very little will get in that way. And if it runs down the back and runs in here, it'll run overboard, is my theory. So all things are proven when you actually get out there and you're in a horrible thunderstorm with sideways rain, then you get the true feel of what has worked and what needs improving. It's good I have some experience with our Deanne's Rose. And so we're getting near done the windows. Yeehaw. So yeah, tomorrow I expect a good amount of progress. All these side windows should be on. I think overall it's looking really good. Oh, let's go inside and see the windows from the inside. Although they're dusty, it's very important with LEXAN to clean it using Windex and very soft paper towel. I use the blue paper towel. They're pretty sturdy and you don't see out as nicely. But you can kind of hear the noise. I'm semi-enclosed here, but we'll play. Okay, I've ranted on enough. You guys take care. Bye-bye.